Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs is a presentation of Kentucky Proud.
I'm Kevin HARNED, back with you for more Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs, the show that takes you out to eat and behind the scenes at Kentucky's favorite restaurants.
Right now, we're discovering a local gem for fine dining in Louisville.
Welcome to Hearth on Mellwood.
Inside this historic building, you find a cozy, rustic atmosphere and food unlike anything else in town.
It reminds me kind of a European restaurant.
The restaurant here is beautiful.
Couldn't be any nicer.
Chef Jason McCollum runs the restaurant with his wife, whom he met while studying at the Culinary Institute of America in New York. From there, they crisscross the country from east to west before ending up home in Louisville.
My wife's from Kentucky, so we have some family here, and we really fell in love with the city.
They've also fallen in love with the bounty of fresh ingredients Kentucky has to offer.
Try to source the best products we can. The closer you can get it to you, usually the better it is. So.
You'll find plenty of fine wines and craft beer, along with thoughtful handcrafted cocktails that are full of fresh ingredients and creativity.
Louisville is known for having a very large bourbon selection in pretty much any bar that you go to. Here at Hearth, we kind of just wanted to offer something a little bit different. Something like a high-end bar that you would find in a city like New York or San Francisco or Chicago.
I think it's fantastic.
I definitely recommend it.
Now to the kitchen, where Hearth chef Jason McCollum is ready to get cooking.
I'm going to be making a couple of the favorites from the menu, basically a fish stew, and I'm also going to be making a lamb tartare. This is our lamb here, so the key to a good tartare is make sure it's nice and lean, and you get a nice small fine chop on it. In this tartare, there's a couple of components that are the aromatics. So we have a caramelized onion, so it's just a white onion that's been slowly cooked to caramel. Then we have a fresh component, which is a fresh scallion. And then here is a charred scallion. So we take basically the bottoms of the scallion, we grill them, and then mince them up very fine. And that adds a nice kind of smoky component to the dish. And a little bit of finely chopped cayenne chili. And that's just going to be in the background. You really won't taste much of that as far as heat. Of course, key to any good tartare is a nice country yolk. We have a yuzu infused olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, so it's got a little bit of a nice citrus kick to it. Yuzu is kind of like a really floral, lemony lime, I guess, from Southeast Asia. We have a little more of that. Can never have enough olive oil. This is a white soy sauce from Japan. It's a little bit more delicate in flavor than a traditional darker soy sauce would be. And we're just going to add a good little splash of that.
And finally, some coarse ground sea salt.
And that's going to get nice texture and season up our meat nice and well.
From here, it just takes a little elbow grease.
And you just want to make sure it's mixed nice and well. And then you should notice that egg yolk kind of starts to coat all the meat, and you get that nice glossy, silky looking texture, and that's very characteristic of a nice tartare. We have a nice little ring mold here. We'll take about 3.5 ounces of this. And this is my cheating tool. Makes it nice and flat and pretty for you guys. Have a nice presentation. That's the secret. We're going to finish with a little bit of yuzu aioli. So once again, bringing back out that citrus flavor and adding a little extra creaminess to the dish. And a little bit of a scallion. I call them sexy scallions because we cut them really nice and tiny and they curl up real pretty. We're going to finish off with some shrimp chips. It's a really great component to the dish because they're light, they're airy, and they've got a great texture with the tartare.
I've always had beef tartare, but never lamb, and it's unbelievable.
The Asian touch on the lamb is unique, and it's just delicious.
I enjoyed every bite.
I think this is about the most amazing thing I've ever eaten.
Up next, a seafood lover's dream come true in the form of a stew. The secrets to that inside the kitchen at Hearth.
Stay with us for more to come on Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs.
Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs is a presentation of Kentucky Proud. Nothing else is close. With support from the Kentucky Beef Council. In Kentucky, beef is still what's for dinner. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you.
Kevin Harned back with you on Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs, right now at Hearth on Mellwood in Louisville.
Chef Jason McCollum has invited us into his kitchen to share the secrets to one of his favorite dishes.
We call it our Berbere stew broth because of the spice blend that we use. Basically a fish stew with smoked tomato and roasted red peppers, heavily spiced, and it's with roasted fennel, and we have shrimp, pink shrimp from Florida, little neck clams, and Prince Edward Island mussels in the mix. We're going to start with the clams. I've got a little bit of oil in this pot right here. We're just going to get a little toast on that to start. Clams can be a little stubborn sometimes, so we're starting with them first to get them a little head start. And I'm just going to kind of get them warmed up. I'm going to take a little bit of Marks Ferry Farm chorizo and kind of start to render that down in the pan. Get a little bit of our broth here. We're going to start the cooking process. It's a homemade fish stock that we've infused with smoked tomatoes, roasted red peppers, lots of fennel and aromatics, and there's also like a little bit of citrus and grapefruit in there as well. And of course our Berbere seasoning is kind of a blend of a lot of North African spices, chilies, cumin, dried basil, and whatnot. We're rolling over here, and I'm going to throw in my fennel and my mussels. Mussels have already started to open up here. That was pretty instant. I'm going to get my shrimp. I'm just going to pop that in the dish until those are perfectly cooked. And my clams are starting to open here, so that's a good sign. Now I'm just kind of waiting for them to finish cooking, and then my shrimp to finish cooking as well.
It only takes a couple of minutes for the shrimp to cook. Just enough time to toast some Blue Dog Bakery bread that's baked Kentucky Proud right up the road.
Yeah, you can soak up all those juices. So these clams and everything, these shrimp are nice and plump. We've got a nice chunk of roasted fennel. And the chorizo's all in the broth too. Makes it nice and hearty. The last step here, just throw in some of this nicely grilled bread. I've got a little salad of shaved fennel, grapefruit, and a little bit more scallions here. Just give that a little toss, and it's a nice little crunchy, fresh component for this really rich and hearty stew. And there you have it. There's our Berbere seafood stew.
It was delicious.
I think it's absolutely wonderful.
I think this is fantastic.
Secrets of Bluegrass Chefs is a presentation of Kentucky Proud.